grab a drink, because this is Hangover Time.
Heat don't win. Alf is, I believe he's still looking for gas. He'll be joining us at a later time. Heat lose. Glass slipper appears to be broken. Clock may not be at midnight, but it's at 11:50.
Listen,
11:16 Eastern time technically, but you get the point. Heat fall 3 down, 3-1 in the NBA Finals. That third quarter felt like an inflection point. Charles Barkley has always said, for as long as I can remember him on TV, that there comes a point in the series where both teams know who the better team is. And I think that came in that third quarter. And if it didn't, it certainly came in the fourth when they could not overcome those minutes without Jokic. He left down 10. He came in up 9, right? So the Heat were +1 in those minutes. And they lose. And they lose a game that was there for them to take. I don't really think it's anybody's fault. We could talk about what's going on. Bring me out, Brass. Let's talk to our panel. This team deserves celebration, I think. This team deserves a lot of love. This team, they were coined the Zombie Heat by the dickhead at the Ringer. But in reality, it was a pretty apt nickname because they – I had the rant where, how you can't kill what's not dead. They don't die, all that stuff. And listen, they competed. They, they made some mistakes, but they played fucking hard, right? So I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. This is Hangover Time. Hopefully not second to last, as chat's saying. Hopefully the Heat can push to 7 and win a title. Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe they can squeeze out another win. Brassjazz, can we find out who kicked our ass tonight? Let's get some fun imaging in here. Let's start lighting the mood a bit.
All right. They kicked our ass.
Trapping Jamal Murray kicked our ass. I'm sick of it.
Oh God.
It was, the not rotating to Jokic was, to use Nikias' words, that was a decision. And they didn't get Jamal to have a single turnover, which was the benefit of doing it before. He had 7. Denver got some good looks out of it, but at the end of the day, okay, you want to turn them over. Just not the sauce. I believe it was Nikias that said when you start trapping Jamal Murray, it's because you've run out of options. Ashmithan says, G giving off some major good job, good effort vibe. So we'll go around the room. Bon, who kicked our ass? No glasses. Glasses-less Siobhan.
The glasses are actually in my car.
No spectacles.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say doubling Jamal definitely kicked our ass. And like staying in the doubles so far out. Like we're successfully pushing him away from the playing field. And we're just staying there, and he's diming, and Denver's too good offensively for that. And then I like Coach Malone's adjustments. I thought he coached a good game. So I'm gonna say Coach, and again the Jamal doubles.
Okay. Tiff?
Yes.
Who kicked our ass? So many to choose from, I know.
No, I mean, it's
what's harder, this or when they ask you at Chipotle if you want pinto or black?
I don't even go to Chipotle.
Me neither. I was trying to make it.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, what am I supposed to say? Who kicked our ass? Like, I'm not nobody. The better team won. They were better tonight. Like, there's no thing about us like it was there for us to take. It wasn't there for us to take. It literally was smokescreen. The better team won tonight. Listen, the Heat played hard. They got too many fucking weapons, and we are, weaponless. Like, that's it. What are we gonna do?
Chat saying pinto all day. Franky who kicked our ass. I agree too.
Josh Hart's kicked our ass.
Ooh.
Kicked Jimmy's ankle literally. No, Denver's a great team. I agree with the blitzing thing. Making the rest of the role players who can't dribble and like create their own shot, letting Murray create the shots for them it's just not an adjustment I thought Spo would make, because I didn't see the benefit to it, and it's been killing us the last 2 games. Yeah, but credit to Denver. They've been hitting their shots. Gordon fucking killed us. Bruce Brown killed us. They just played a great game.
Right.
They're a tough team. Respect them.
Right. And they're not scrubs. Like, you're naming names of players that are not scrubs. Like, we got to, like,
the Brown guy's a scrub. Everybody else.
Who?
The Brown guy.
The Brown. Hold up. Wait.
Christian Brown.
I got it.
Hold up. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's super awkward.
Jesus.
Oh my God. All right.
Whoa.
Let's just give you another shot there.
Frankie, Pinto or Black?
Black.
That felt dangerous also.
Brown.
That felt
Frankie got nervous. I feel Frankie might have gone Pinto, but he decided not to.
Yeah. that didn't feel right.
Whoa, you're taking him out for that? Oh my God.
That didn't feel right.
Jesus, man.
Brassjazz.
Who kicked our ass tonight? I'm going to go with, I agree with all that. Nuggets are a really good team. This sucks. But Aaron Gordon, man.
I mean,
Aaron Gordon, he fucking cooked us tonight. And you know why it hurts? Is because that's 2 home games where Dwayne motherfucking Wade was in that crowd. And this was to go up 3-1 with Dwayne in the building after what Wade did to him during the dunk contest.
Ugh.
It just feels like a revenge game. I don't know, it just feels unfair. But no one asked me what I'm drinking. But I'm gonna say what I'm drinking anyway. I'm gonna go with one of my, I love all of you that watch the show, all of you, but someone very special, near and dear to my heart is Carla Tiana, who sent me a Miami Heat Bacardi 35-year cocktail book. It's like the history of the Heat.
Show the back, because the back is cool.
Oh, like yeah, yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, it's shiny. Look at
hardest
that. I
working,
love that.
best condition, most professional, unselfish, toughest, meanest, nastiest team in the NBA.
Not this series though.
I absolutely love it. Well, listen,
they compete
throughout the postseason. So I thought the most appropriate drink tonight is, because we are nearing the end here, folks. We're nearing the end. So I went with a Dos Minutos tonight, which is vodka, elderflower liqueur, lemon juice, club soda, simple syrup.
That sounds nice.
No, it's nice. It's refreshing.
Looks good too.
I just wish this game wasn't a hot bag of ass.
It's elderflower. It's elderflower season.
If we want to keep going with like more ass kicking, I feel like there's just so much to go around. Like, I did some ass kicking. I think Max and Gabe contributed to some ass kicking. Like, it just wasn't a cohesive.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, we can go there. I mean, I assume we're going to talk the rest of the show about that.
No, we are gonna talk about it, because they didn't look. And I'm sorry, they didn't look together nobody looked together from the jump
at all.
Like, we can't. Like, I don't think it was ever there for the taking. Everybody just kind of looked like they were trying to do their own things.
Yeah, they felt. You know, Tiff, I'm glad that you said that, because they felt disconnected, and I thought that's funny, because I thought like 2 of the guys that are their connectors, Lowry and Love, were good, and they were playing. Both of them were like playing within the offense, helping guys, being that. I think when Gabe struggles in particular, it's a hard night, because he does so much for them with the starting lineup. I think they've gotten very comfortable with his production. So like on nights where he doesn't really have it, or he gets in foul trouble, I believe he picked up an early 3rd foul again. It kind of takes them out of a rhythm. And I think Jimmy benefits from playing off him, because Gabe brings up the ball. Gabe can handle and pick and roll. Bon, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's not been discussed enough. Like, these 2 home games, they just haven't been in the game, because I think Gabe has gotten into early foul trouble. And even today, I mean, Kyle kept them in the game, but I just think that like some of their best lineups, you know, are with Jimmy and Gabe.
Yeah, no, and it's for what you said, like another ball handler. Again, you're void of Tyler, so you do need someone else who is adept at navigating pick and roll, reading where Denver likes to let their like kind of pocket angle be for that pass. And I agree. You know, this game, last game, got off to a discombobulated start, and I do think it has an effect on the way that they kind of come out. And to the point of the connectivity, it's like Kevin and Kyle played well, and they are the connectors kind of with the groups that they're in. And there feels to be more of an intent at playing connectedly. I don't know. There were spots where it didn't feel like the intent was to be connected. Like and you needed it. But again, some of the like Jimmy minutes for me, but it sucks so bad because what he was able to give to you in that you did need point wise, but it felt like some of the time where Jimmy was cooking, it was with the other like ISO off the ball, able to handle guys on the floor. Like Jimmy wasn't cooking, and then like Max and Duncan were also kind of flowing into some of their emotions. Like Jimmy was getting his ISO stuff, and we had Max, Caleb, Kyle, and like Bam, and I guess the tendency was kind of to stand a bit.
Right.
And you feel like you're bailed out a little bit because the guys on the floor with him at the time can kind of get you out of that their own kind of on the bounce stuff. But I bring it back to your point about Gabe G. I agree. And it's tough to overcome. And I think it changes their play style. It's like a whole kind of couple pages of the book that they have to kind of rip out and see if they can maybe glue back in somewhere else where it doesn't really quite fit and read cleanly anymore.
Let me ask a question about that. Would you think it would benefit a little bit to kind of maybe get Gabe off ball some?
When? With who?
To get him, well, I mean, if he's a starter. So maybe get him off ball a little bit to see if you can get him going with some catch and shoots and things like that. And maybe there's just more pressure on him because they're guarding him. Like, they are legitimately covering him.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you have, like, Jimmy taking those possessions, you still have to be doing other actions.
Well, no, I'm saying do other things, but take the ball out of Gabe's hands so maybe he can get moving a little bit more.
Probably.
I like this comment by J. Gorilla.
Yeah.
He says, we're struggling because Denver respects our role players. And Frankie, that's something that I talked about on the pod the other day and also when the pod with Tiff and Bond. I think Denver has made an effort to be like, okay, well, we know these guys can play and we're going to respect them. We're going to respect them as shooters, as handlers, as passers. And they have been played more honestly. And Jimmy and Bam have had more wiggle room to operate. And they haven't capitalized. I mean, Jimmy had 25, 7, and 7 on good shooting today with 9 free throw attempts. And it just didn't feel like enough. Like his impact wasn't the same. It wasn't like takeover moments. Like they had like that point in the third quarter where they get a Jokic miss, a rare Jokic miss. They run down the floor. They don't get it. They don't get anything. And then they force a turnover on Murray. And Denver gets back well on transition, and then Jimmy takes like a pull up 2, and he misses. And I was like,
that was like super flat.
Frankie, that's the stuff that against Milwaukee and Boston the first 3 games they were snatching.
Yeah, and it's largely on Jimmy just not being able to finish and get to his spots. We've talked about it, but since the Knicks injury. He really hasn't been getting to the cup on the ball as much as he used to. He was getting in post-ups, in pick and roll. He was finding his spots often against Milwaukee, which was the top-rated defense in the league, had tons of size to throw at him, had Drew Holiday to throw at him on ball, had Brook Lopez to help, had Bobby Portis to help. They had their wings are all 6'6" and above. They had size and length to throw at him. And then Giannis came back in, and he was still getting to the rim. And finishing. And this was the kind of game where he should have had 30, 40 points. And they needed that. And they were missing that. But he's just had to, since Boston, he's had to just shoot over guys. He can get to the dunker spot, okay, but all the guards are cutting him off. Everybody defending him is cutting him off. And then one thing that I haven't really liked that Miami needs to find an adjustment to is when they throw the ball in the post from the wing, they usually have the post entry guy cut through. But the problem with this is the weak side is so damn stagnant that whoever the post entry guy, whoever is guarding that guy, is just staying right under the rim and helping off Jimmy because the spacing's so bad. Nobody's ready to catch. Not everybody's standing, not in a position to be a threat, and it's just Jimmy's got to shoot over two guys, and it's just stuff like that. Denver's coach circles around them, and credit to Denver, they have more tools in the toolbox. They have more size, they have more rest, they have more health, but they've also been purposeful and on point about all the little details that matter and get Miami uncomfortable, especially Jimmy.
Man, I'm seeing some comments in here. I don't even want to put them up. I don't want to draw too much attention to them, but is playoff Jimmy dead? I mean, can we stop? I mean, he's clearly not right, but he's also the type of player not to bitch and moan about it. It's frustrating, but I mean, we did see, unfortunately in the next series, he got hurt. He hadn't been the same since, and people have reported on it. Ethan was saying, this is the type of injury in the middle of the season. A player would be out, I think, 2 to 4 weeks.
They shut him down.
Yeah.
So, the fact that he's out here, and particularly you gotta really look at that Boston series too, because there was only one day in between each game in that series, which I still to this day I don't really understand. That felt fucking wild. But again, even if there were some games with 2 in between, it doesn't really matter because you need an extended time off. But after what Jimmy gave us, because Jimmy single-handedly got us through that first round, right? In that way, in that definitive kind of way. And then, thankfully, all of our role players stepped up the rest of the way and have been fantastic in the other series. So, but to say, I don't know. I think it's super lazy and very Stephen A. Smithy to be throwing out is playoff Jimmy dead?
Right.
No, is playoff Jimmy dead this season? Yes.
Well, I see people saying
playoff
you guys
Jimmy was killed. He didn't just arrive dead. He was
exactly. He was dead when he got here.
You.
He was dead.
He was a zombie.
He was dead when we got here.
No, he wasn't. When we got to Denver or when we got to the playoffs, because Jimmy was playoff Jimmy, and then he was
when they got.
I mean when we got to when we got to game 3 of the Knicks.
Oh yeah,
it was done.
Yeah,
and it has been done, and he's
had moments.
There.
He's had moments,
right? And he's still out there. He's trying to give you whatever he has. This is just the hand that we were dealt. I can't say it anymore. It's just it's becoming obnoxious. We saw the injury. Yeah. There's video. We all saw it.
We saw you. There's film of what you did.
Of what Josh Hart
did. Of what Josh Hart did. We saw it. And it's okay. It's okay to be damn, guys, this is,
It sucks. It's just there's no other way. There's no other word to describe it. It just sucks.
Right.
That's it. But it's not a deficiency. It's not a guts thing with Jimmy. It's nothing fucking crazy. Nothing deeper than that.
Right.
He still plays at a remarkable level. I still expect him the way that he can play. I still expect him. I still expect to see playoff Jimmy in full fucking form next season. I do. I also think that's going to be a season of kind of really taking some time as well. And that's
he came out aggressive the last 2 games. Could not finish, but he came out aggressive. And tonight, he was hitting his shots. Listen. We talked a lot about Miami hitting 35% of their shots at the rim. They shot 78% at the rim today. That is a remarkable figure. And Denver only shot 68%, right? So Miami is they finished tonight, right? They were finishing at the rim, and they just they had trouble getting there. Only 27% of their possessions were at the rim. Denver 40, to give you an example. And Miami obviously did not shoot well from 3 today. They shot 33%. I'm sorry. They shot 29%.
We shot 25.
Yeah.
Cleaning the glass has him at 29, so that might
No,
be.
but we've talked about Jimmy's injury on offense a lot, but defensively he's not.
That's where it's really
And we talk all the time about Jimmy and Bam like having to plug so many holes.
Look at the steal numbers for Jimmy.
Yeah, he didn't get another steal today. Like it's been like 3 straight games without a steal. Like Jimmy never does that. And he's slow to react on Murray. They took him off Murray finally, get Caleb a chance, but it's just tough. Like they're really good. Denver does all the little things really good too, and it credits them. But it's not over, guys. Don't let us get one.
It's not. Don't let us get one out of it. Hey, so what Figs in chat asked, what were Miami's rim numbers? So they were 14 for 18, and Denver was 19 for 28.
That's because Dwayne was in the building.
Of course.
19 for 28.
So I think getting to the rim 18 times is just not good enough.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Miami had like points in the game where you think, okay, can they get to close out the second half? Right? They get a little bit of injection of life. Kyle makes a couple winning plays. You're like, okay, Bam has that dunk. We're good. Franky's laughing at me because I'm just trying to get Kyle credit. Third quarter, Kevin Love gives you something. Kevin Love had a 9-0 run by himself.
Yo, I've never seen Kevin Love be so red after that.
Dog,
that man gave it all.
That guy.
Franky, what did I say on pregame? It's Kevin Love's game tonight.
Yeah. He gave it 100. All he had. All that man.
But
had.
the problem is, G, it took they have all that for spurts. Like that's the problem. There's no consistency with the offense. Like they go dead, and then they have to continually dig themselves out of the hole.
Yeah,
like that's
Denver did a good job defensively, and it's sometimes so. We find ourselves open a lot in some of our motion, but that does not mean that we're always running our motion, our stuff with like any real thrust in the cuts. Mm-hmm. Like we get the quick, bouncy back cuts, the quick reaction types of things, but we're not really always getting through our actions. And so Denver's well coached, they're well scouted. We're the only thing that they're preparing for. They're long, they're athletic. Right. And so some of our actions, like they're just letting us kind of get into our split stuff and understanding where it is that they're going to pick us up, and they're just kind of just letting us do some things, and then we're not trying to do some other things. And to your point about Jimmy defensively, like at the end of the last game, they were hunting him in the zone, and I was like, oh, this is nuts. All right, so this is we're in a bad spot here. They were pulling him out of the middle of the zone into the pick and roll, and I was like, shit.
No, and Bobby, like to get back on the offense, their motion wasn't as sharp as it's been for most of the playoffs. Like Denver would blow up the initial action, a pick and roll, whatever it was. They would flip the ball, and it takes 2 seconds to get the next action going, or it'll just be all right. We got to go pick and roll, and we got 8 on the clock, and Denver's all staring at the ball and nothing else to counter it. There was a possession where Gabe penetrated and is looking for a cutter, and nobody cut with him. He had to kick it back out to Jimmy, and we got like a contested jumper on that possession. It was just like the little details that makes Miami a threat on offense, and that it's stuff that they have to do consistently. They didn't do.
Yeah,
I want to say one thing. A lot of people in chat are like, bench this guy, play this guy. Guys, those are moves at the margins. They're not close enough for that to matter right now. Right? And I get it. I get it's frustrating, but really, like, they're just not right now. They're not. Now they're going to go into game 5 and they're going to fucking compete their ass off. And listen, maybe they can steal a game in Denver. You get a game at home. You recenter yourselves. You have a little pride, and you don't lose a 5th straight home game, because they've now lost 4 straight home games going back to Boston. Illusion05 says, you know what? We got something in common with the 2016 Cavs. We got love. Take us there. Lead us there. Listen, gotta have a little hope.
Yeah.
You're gonna need some role players to step up like they have. But that's going to come off the back of Jimmy and Bam drawing enough help. And listen, we've talked enough about the series. and kind of all that there is there. But Brass, we do have a highlight.
Can I do a quick look at some stats? I got a really fascinating stat for you.
All right.
You know who led the team in plus minus tonight?
I hope it's Cody Zeller.
Cody Zeller.
Cody fucking Zeller.
His
And that's the
stint
end
was
of our
like
stats.
what? Was his stint like 1 minute or something?
Woo.
He wasn't
like
out there
4.5
long.
minutes. 4.5 minutes.
They
I
were
like his minutes out there.
solid. You know why that is though? I mentioned it earlier. The rotation pattern, getting Jim in the first so that he could be one to come in with Kyle and Cody when they came in kind of at the second. I don't know that that's just Cody all by himself. I think.
But to your point, G, I do see. Yeah, there's a lot of people lamenting different lineups you could be throwing out and this and that. I mean, you know, we've been saying for multiple games now that Hamish should be getting some minutes out there, but. You know, but you're right. None of that is ultimately going to change that much.
Right.
Although, you know, there are moments we were saying in the chat earlier. It's like you fucking get Duncan Robinson out there. All of a sudden, was Duncan do? He gets a quick steal. He hits a three. I mean, and he can sort of change those kind of moments. Do change the flow of a game. So to me, that's the unpredictability factor. I think is the biggest change there, but you're gonna have to come out really swinging when you make those kind of changes.
But you know, Brass, the thing is, if Duncan comes and gives you a spurt, it has to happen once you get that spurt. Jimmy or Bam have to follow up that spurt. Like we have to be like nobody wants to be honest about like how it actually works.
Right.
Because none of the quote unquote role players are going to carry you separately. So when somebody has a spurt, they can't. Because carrying them separately means like Duncan should have gave us or anyone should have gave us 30 tonight. Like they need somebody. No, but somebody at some point has to throw on the cape. Yeah. Because that means you are putting your imprint on the game. Like now, all of a sudden, they are worried about you. They're not worried about Jimmy and Bam. Yep. They're playing.
They're not, and they're guarding them.
Worried.
They're guarding them straight up. They're not over helping anymore. And listen, Jimmy had 7 assists tonight, which was important because last game it was not enough. There was not enough playmaking. But even then, it's just like. I think that his best assists come off of threes, and you know, it's like he's just a big momentum swinger, and he just didn't have that. He just didn't have it. You know, he's not the same guy. A lot of those and one finishes. I think he had one this game. Usually, those are the kinds of finishes that kind of get you going, gets the crowd going. You know, get you to the line, see it go in. It's like those little things, but his finishing's off. He's not playing as well. Listen, chat saying Heat in 7. Listen, if they go into Denver, listen. They can go out to Denver and they can win a game. They've already shown you. If you know, we can get a little life out of Gabe, we can get a little life out of Max, we can get a little life out of the rest of the role guys. And if Jimmy and Bam can kind of take maybe be 10% better, you know, who's to say? So
also there's also a lot of roasting of players that came out and were shooting terribly. Max and Gabe were 0-7 from 3 tonight. But you know what? If they would have come out, you cannot put it past these guys to come out and Max could hit 3 straight or Gabe could hit 3 straight. And then you're like, fuck yeah. So it's, you know, a lot of this is hindsight. And I know it can be frustrating, but
there's still more games. The's still more games. It's still more games to be played.
We're just being real. I don't want to be a downer.
What'd you say, Vaughn?
More game left.
There's more game. There's more game left.
There's more game left. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. So, Brass,
there's not break the tower glass.
It's not even up to. It's not even up to Spo.
We're not even.
And we're not talking about. Yeah.
He's not. His hand's broken. Leave him alone.
Break his hand. Trying to break his
hand.
Broken.
He's not even conditioned. You can't bring him back without being like
into Denver. Come on, man.
Into Denver and not being conditioned. And also, guess what? Denver's big, and they like to swipe down on the ball.
But I'm
What's
smacking
What's the
him.
first thing you're doing? Like, don't put that kid in that position. Like, I would not. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do anything.
Exactly. Jokic, right?
Ethan says Cody Zeller isn't conditioned. Happy ice cream. All right, Brass. There is one play for tonight that I feel sums up tonight's game and really this homestand. So let's bring us to the gaga of the game. All right, so here, Brass, put up the play. Here we have a European man knocking out a Miami local.
Jesus Christ. How did he not? I'm sure he was surprised he didn't throw
How
his
did you
arm.
know he
And
was
by the
European?
way,
Wait, how did you know he was Europe?
That was not called a foul.
Unbelievable.
How do you know that he's European? Because of the outfit?
Okay, that's Conor McGregor.
It's Conor McGregor.
No, I know, but I was saying because of the outfit.
He's wearing a full body jumpsuit.
Exactly.
I don't think he's ordering black beans either.